Let's talk about the hardwood. Bring on University of Pennsylvania men's basketball head coach Steve Donahue. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, guys. How you doing?
We cannot complain. We always enjoy getting the chance to talk some basketball with you. This is a bit of a different season after the last couple of years. Why don't you talk to us about what everything's been like for you guys this year?
Obviously, after not playing last year because of the pandemic, the Ivy League, and this year having such a new team, and honestly, it's been wild, but I'm just grateful that we're playing. We have a ton of COVID. The two kids out with it now, and just one of those seasons. But as I said, I think for the most part, college basketball has brought back some normalcy, and obviously March is such an exciting time of the year with the tournament right around the corner.
We obviously can't wait to watch the tournament. You mentioned some of the young guys, and your sophomore, Jordan Dingle, he's been lights out lately. And, I mean, for parts of the season, I'm not sure where he is after the last game. He's been leading the Ivy League in scoring. Can you talk about his development and how important that's been for you as a team?
Yeah, I think Jordan was Ivy League Rookie of the Year. He's one guy we leaned on early. We had such a difficult schedule, we probably leaned on him too much. But he's been fantastic. He's had 5 30-point games. He's efficient at all levels. He can finish at the rim, the mid-range, and he had 8 threes in the game. He's only a sophomore, and last game, unfortunately, he was in concussion protocol, so we didn't have him. We hope to have him back this weekend, and then for the Ivy tournament next weekend.
So, talking about the Ivy tournament, Coach, you're 9-4 in the Ivy. The regular season, as you said, has been kind of a grind, but you're third in the Ivy League and you're going to be in the tournament. How excited are you to be in a tournament with fans in the building?
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling for all of our guys, especially after missing the tournament the last 2 years. Listen, we play Saturday before selection. Sunday, you win a game, you're one game away from hearing your name. That's what we all in the profession hope for, and as a kid, that's what we dream for. So we know we're going to play Yale in the first round, and then hopefully we're the winner of Princeton and Cornell.
Separate from the wins and losses there, how important is the pressure that comes with postseason tournaments to developing your young players like Jordan?
Yeah, I think, anytime you get any kind of postseason experience, and in particular in our league, because not everyone makes the conference tournament, only the top 4. To get that experience, even if this doesn't turn out to be successful, I think we're building something really special in our program where I think we can take a huge step over the next couple of years.
Coach, do you ever get tired of playing in the Palestra?
That's impossible, guys. I came here as a kid. I played my last high school game here in Philadelphia Catholic League Championships. It's just a special building. The playing, the coaching, to be a spectator. It's so intimate that there's 10,000 of us on top of each other. There's really no other venue like it. And I argue maybe in all of sport because you're so close to the action, and it's just an incredible environment to play in, as I say.
Well, it's apparently a great place for breakfast, too, because Coaches versus Cancer has their upcoming breakfast that's back in person. Can you talk to us about what that's like, where you guys are going to honor Dan Baker, and what it's like when you get together on Monday, March 14th after Selection Sunday to talk to the fans?
Yeah, it's a great event. For anybody who hasn't been there, it's almost a bucket list. We have tables on the floor of the Palestra. All the coaches are there. We have all media there, and obviously this year honoring Dan Baker. But, the excitement of, knowing you got in the tournament, and then you get to, obviously Jay Wright's going to be there and talk about his team for sure. I hope others are there, thinking about their opponents in the NCAA tournament. But what a special way to kick off the NCAA tournament on the floor of the Palestra with an incredible event benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. And, as you said, honoring Dan Baker, the longtime PA announcer at the Vet, and obviously for the Eagles and Phillies over the last several years. And he's a cancer survivor, someone that we really love to honor.
Coach, we've talked to you in the past about Coaches versus Cancer and your involvement. What has it been like for you to become more and more involved in this and see the benefits of what the Coaches versus Cancer program does, and especially what it does with the Philadelphia contingent?
Yeah, I've been other places. I'm Philly, Delco born and all that, and I go other places. I spent a lot of time in Boston, and there's no other place like this. A lot of it with the success that the Coaches versus Cancers had over the last 25 years can be contributed to Phil Martelli and Fran Duffy. But more importantly, the Philadelphia community rallying around these events to help us raise money that, I just had a friend find out his son had cancer, and prognosis is good because of events like this. We make an impact by raising this money for research, and it stays in our community, and it changes lives. And I'd be foolish not to use my platform to help this cause.
You talk about the other coaches. Can you talk about the coaching community in this city? On April 9th, you guys will have the basketball gala at the Bellevue. You're going to have the City 6 coaches who are doing this all honoring Philly coaching legend, shot guy Herb McGee. It just seems like the coaching fraternity in this city is something special that isn't really replicated in other places.
We say that again, there really isn't a place that, first of all, they have 6 Division I's and numerous Division II's and III's, all in this really brotherhood of coaches. And all of us, Philly 6, Zach Spiker, Drexel, and Aaron McKee at Temple, Ashley Howard at LaSalle, Billy Lang at St. Joe's, and Jay Wright at Villanova, all spend a lot of time helping this cause and really try to make it the best it can. The gala is spectacular. The Black Tie Affair at the Bellevue, and now we get to honor, retiring at the age of 80, Naismith Hall of Famer Herb McGee, who we all know and love, and just another way to really have a great night to celebrate Philadelphia basketball and raise funds for an incredible cause.
Coach, you mentioned before the role of Fran Dunphy and Phil Martelli. You see that Phil Martelli's kind of stepped into a role at Michigan because of what happened with Juwan Howard. What has impressed me about what Mr. Martelli is doing and the assistant coaches is how important assistant coaches are to a program. You always see that the head coach is the face of the program, but how important is it for somebody like you to have good assistants, to have people that can relate to the players and provide advice and see things that maybe you're not seeing because you're focused on something else?
Yeah, guys, this is not an overstatement. Your program survives how well your assistant coaches are and doing daily. There's so much more that people don't see that really falls on the assistant coaches. These are 19 to 22-year-old young men that have, as you can imagine, life can be messy, and their abilities and how well they relate and how well they work and recruit and develop is all based on how good they are. Phil Martelli, to be an assistant coach at this point, is an incredible benefit for Michigan, and I hope people realize that assistant coaches are the lifeline of your program, and I think most head coaches realize that.
Yeah, I'd have preferred if they didn't have him as an assistant coach because he helped make sure they knocked off Rutgers and hurt my team's chances of making the tourney. So I'd have preferred if they didn't have a strong assistant coach thing going on there. Coach, how exciting is this time of year for you in general? Regardless of how the season, you get to this point, you guys are a different team at this point. You've bonded, you have relationships. Can you talk about what it means to you as a coach? And I know you don't like to talk about yourself that much. To be in that battle with these guys who you've fought so hard with all year, to know that you're going to be in that Ivy League tournament playing Yale.
Yeah, it's hard to put in words. The intrinsic feeling you get about the excitement of coming in and putting the group together. And for us, we were 3-10 at one point. We played an incredible schedule. But then, all the things that you go through, and then the excitement of, 24 hours of 2 games where you could be hearing your name called, where the whole nation, the whole world is watching. There's nothing like this excitement. Spring is in the air, and everyone thinks of baseball. Well, college coaches think of just the thought of the possibility of playing in the NCAA tournament, and it's incredible for someone like myself that has the opportunity and hopefully more opportunities. But for a player who has that small window of 4 years, this is what they live for, and it's incredibly exciting. And as I said, it's like the final chapter of this story this year and all we went through. We like to finish it up strong and give these kids memories that they'll never forget.
Coach, basketball may be what they live for these 4 years, but this is also an incredible period of growth for most people that age, and coaches are an integral part of that. I can't understate how much it means to this community to see the City 6 coaches involved as much as they are in helping battle cancer and helping people in the community and using your platform for good. What does it mean to you to be able to give that example to the young men that you are coaching?
I appreciate you saying that, and I do think that's something that gets overlooked because everyone just kind of talks about wins and losses and who's on the hot seat and all that kind of stuff. And that's not how we live. We take our kids to the Hope Lodge once a semester because I want to expose our guys to some of the things that are going on in life, and unfortunately, most are going to have to experience and get through and show real courage that these people are doing. And I think that's what goes understated in coaching. That's what kind of drives us, is just helping these young people, making an impact. And they kind of say they're recruiting, and it's funny, but I like that 2 tables at your wedding, like Penn basketball. We're going to be there. And I just got an invitation from a kid who graduated 6 years ago from Penn, and he's invited me to his wedding. That means more than a Coach of the Year award. That's why we all do this. And that makes me feel so good that I had that kind of impact, and he valued our relationship so much. He wants me there on that kind of day that he's celebrating.
Before we let you go, Coach, we just want to tell everybody you can get more info and tickets on the Coaches versus Cancer event at www.phillycvc.org, and we'll publicize that on our social media. Coach, you mentioned the Hope Lodge, though, and for we know about it. We are so impressed with what the city does with the Hope Lodge, but can you tell people who may not be familiar with it what the Hope Lodge does and how important it is to the city?
It is. It's an amazing place. It's up in Fox Chase. We have numerous ones around the country. But what it does is it provides families that are hit with this horrific notice that someone has cancer. And here the Hope Lodge is there to provide free housing. Because one of the biggest things that happens when someone has cancer, someone has to quit a job. You got to figure out the expenses. And the Hope Lodge takes something off their plate. We also give free rides to back and forth from treatment at one of the major hospitals here in the city. So people can come, they have a nice place to stay, they're with others who are going through the same thing, and it just takes the financial burden off these families. And I think it's one of the most amazing things that goes on in the American Cancer Society, that you're not alone. There's a lot of us here that are going to help fight and know that this is another way that we can help you get through this battle of cancer.
We appreciate you telling the listeners about Hope Lodge, helping make sure Hope Lodge can continue to thrive, and all that you and the other coaches do here in the city for Coaches versus Cancer. Wish you the best of luck in the tournament there, and thanks for what you're doing with these men, developing them this season. We know it hasn't been an easy ride, but good to see you guys back out there in front of fans, and thanks for giving us a little time.
I appreciate you making time for us, and I hope everyone considers those 2 main events, and love to have more people involved. It's an incredible way to get back to the community.
Well, we want to encourage people to go join you and see you there. You have a great one, Coach.
Thanks, guys.